Ever caught yourself rereading a text message 5 times just to decode what it might really mean? Or maybe spending hours analyzing a conversation, wondering what could have been done differently, and constantly feeling like the emotional weight is sitting entirely on one side? It happens, and it's exhausting. The mind spins on overdrive, dissecting every little detail, hoping to make sense of someone else's lukewarm energy. Someone who isn't even matching half the effort being poured into the connection. Meanwhile, that little voice keeps whispering, "Just stop caring." But that's the tricky part, isn't it? Telling the heart to stop investing when the mind is already all in. That's exactly where the art of detachment comes in, and it changes everything. Detachment isn't a game, it's a power move. First, let's clear up a big misconception. Detachment doesn't mean being cold. It's not about pretending to be aloof or playing mind games to get someone's attention. This isn't about manipulation or control. It's about taking energy back. It's about finally shifting the spotlight away from someone else and putting it directly where it belongs. Back on self. Detachment is about making peace with the fact that control over another person's behavior, effort, or intentions is a fantasy. But control over reactions, standards, and boundaries? That's real. That's power. And once detachment is mastered, something incredible happens. That needy, anxious, always wondering energy gets replaced with calm confidence. That desperate hope that someone will pick up the phone or finally meet halfway fades into a clear boundary. Show up right, or don't show up at all. Step 1. Remember who the prize is. Here's a perspective shift that flips the whole dynamic. Think about a luxury designer handbag displayed inside an upscale boutique. That bag doesn't go chasing people down the street begging to be chosen. It's not discounted. It's not on sale. And it certainly doesn't explain why it deserves to be bought. People walk in, see the value, and either pay the price or walk away. But the bag? Still sitting pretty. So why treat yourself any differently? You are the luxury item here, the high-value presence, the standard, not the clearance rack deal, and definitely not something that should be chasing anyone to prove worthiness. When that shift happens, from "please choose me" to "only those who rise to my level get access," the energy becomes magnetic. People feel it. They notice it, and more importantly, they respond to it. Because when the mindset is set on being the prize, suddenly there's no tolerance for inconsistency, mixed signals, or half-hearted efforts. There's no chasing, no convincing, no bending backward just to stay relevant in someone's life. It's either mutual effort or no effort at all. He's not the prize. Stop acting like he is. This one needs to be said clearly. Never, ever let a man feel like he's the prize. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Any man who wants a spot in someone's life should be showing up with clarity, consistency, and respect. He should be proving he's worthy of love, time, and energy, not the other way around. That means no more fighting for attention, no more performing for validation, and no more shrinking just to be accepted. It's not about competition. There's no need to compete for his affection, loyalty, or approval. If he can't see the value from the start, he doesn't deserve front row access to the story. The moment that pedestal is handed over, personal power starts to slip. And once that happens, it becomes a constant cycle of doing more and more for someone who's giving less and less. That's the trap. And the way out? Stop treating him like the prize. Let him earn his place. Let him show up. Let him rise to the standard, or let him go. Friendships need balance too. Detachment doesn't only apply to romance. It's just as powerful in friendships. If there's a friendship where one side is always the one initiating plans, keeping the conversation alive, and checking in, it might be time to reevaluate. True friendship is about mutual effort, respect, and emotional support, not one person doing all the heavy lifting while the other floats along passively. There's nothing wrong with being a giver, but it becomes a problem when giving is mistaken for self-worth. If being part of someone's life feels like a chore or a hustle, that's a clear sign. The energy needs to be redirected. Detaching from friendships that are one-sided isn't cold. It's self-care. It's recognizing that showing up for others is important, but showing up for self? Non-negotiable. Because the truth is, when the connection is real, no one has to chase it. It just flows. A balanced friendship doesn't leave someone feeling drained. It fills them up. It brings peace, not pressure. If the vibe feels like begging to be included or constantly proving worth, that's not friendship. That's performance. Energy shouldn't feel transactional. Support shouldn't come with conditions, and love shouldn't require reminders. True friends show up without being asked. Remember the little things. And make space, not excuses. So if the effort is always one-sided, that's not loyalty. That's convenience for them. And detaching from that kind of dynamic doesn't make anyone heartless. It means the heart is finally being protected. Sometimes the most loving thing that can be done is to let go of what no longer feels loving. Because when friendship is right, it feels like home, not like a competition. Shift the energy inward. The most powerful tool in mastering detachment is simple. Invest that energy inward. It's easy to lose focus when all the energy is going outwards, chasing connections, waiting for responses, trying to be enough for someone else. But none of that builds confidence. None of that creates peace. It only fuels anxiety and codependency. So the solution? Redirect, refocus, rebuild. Take that energy and pour it back into goals, passions, and self-development. Maybe it's going after a career shift. Maybe it's taking better care of the body and mind. Maybe it's learning something new, traveling, or creating. Whatever lights that inner fire, lean into it. Because when the focus shifts to growth, joy, and expansion, the detachment happens naturally. There's no longer space to obsess over someone who isn't showing up, because the mind is too busy building something better. And that glow, that self-invested energy, it's magnetic. The standard for how others treat someone is set by how they treat themselves. Abundance over scarcity. One reason people hold on so tightly to relationships that clearly aren't working is simple. Fear. The fear that this is the only shot at love, that another connection like this might never come again, that walking away means starting over, or worse, ending up alone. But that's just scarcity talking. And it's lying. The world is full of options, full of possibilities, full of people who are ready to meet at the same level, with the same energy, the same heart. There is no one shot. There are many. Love is not a limited resource. Neither is success or happiness. Life isn't a tightrope walk across a single shot at joy. It's an open field, full of paths. The right people will always find their way in, without force, without begging, and without performing. So there's no need to grip tightly to what's not working out of fear. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for what's truly aligned. And alignment? It feels easy. It flows. It doesn't hurt every day. Boundaries aren't rude. They're required. There's a myth that setting boundaries makes someone mean, cold, or unapproachable. But here's the truth. Boundaries are love, just directed inward. They say, this is how I deserve to be treated. This is where my energy ends and yours begins. This is what I will and won't accept. A high-value mindset doesn't tolerate emotional freeloaders. It doesn't bend to please others who offer nothing in return. It doesn't entertain disrespect disguised as casualness. Time, energy, and peace, they're sacred. And anyone who drains them without contributing deserves distance, not explanations. If someone gets upset about those boundaries, that's a reflection of their entitlement, not a reason to lower the standard. The people who respect boundaries, they're the ones worth keeping around. Learn to master silence. One of the most powerful tools in the art of detachment is silence. Not the passive-aggressive kind, not the let me punish you by ignoring you type, but the calm, grounded silence that comes from knowing there's nothing left to say. Not every situation deserves a reaction. Not every text needs a reply. Not every rude comment requires a comeback. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Silence is dignity. Silence is peace. Silence is power. Because silence isn't empty, it's full of clarity. When someone shows who they are, believe it the first time. When someone isn't showing up, step back without drama. There's no need to argue, plead, or beg someone to do what they should have been doing all along. Actions speak, energy speaks louder, and silence, that's where the loudest message lives. The beauty of letting go. Detachment isn't about building walls, it's about building standards. It's not about becoming cold, it's about becoming clear. This kind of clarity comes from within, from knowing what is deserved, from no longer settling, from no longer chasing. Because when detachment is truly embraced, something beautiful happens. Peace replaces anxiety, clarity replaces confusion, and self-respect replaces desperation. That's when the magic starts. The energy shifts. People notice the difference. The vibe gets stronger, and the right ones start gravitating toward that calm, grounded presence. It's not about proving worth anymore. It's about embodying it. That's the art of detachment. And once it's mastered, there's no going back. Because once peace becomes the baseline, chaos no longer feels attractive. Attention that once felt validating starts to feel hollow when it doesn't come with effort. Time becomes sacred, not something handed out freely, but offered to those who truly value it. Silence becomes empowering instead of scary, because it's no longer filled with fear, but with self-trust. There's no longer a desire to chase, only a desire to align. Approval no longer drives the choices. Self-worth takes the wheel, and from that space, the glow is undeniable, not because of anyone else, but because of what's been claimed from within. Mastering the art of detachment isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about learning to direct energy where it truly matters. It's about investing inward, walking away from what drains, standing firm in boundaries, choosing peace over chaos, and letting silence speak when words won't do justice. Because once that shift happens, once the chase ends and the standard rises, everything begins to align. The people who are meant to stay, stay. The ones who weren't meant to come along quietly fall away. That's not loss. That's transformation. So here's the final takeaway. Be the prize, set the standard, guard the peace, and never chase what's not meant to be kept. If this resonated, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more empowering content, just like this. And in the comments, share one thing you're choosing to let go of. It might inspire someone else on their journey too. Until next time, keep glowing and never forget your worth.